Good morning. Once again, today there is a video that has been made on biodata, which is a writing section topic. And this video will tell you an easy method and some easy points which you require in order to write any kind of biodata that comes over. So, here, before I begin with biodata, there are three words which are little confusing but means the same. One is resume, that means summary. Now, when you're writing a resume, you pick up the person's education, skills, employment. A resume does not list all your details of the profile, but only some specific skills. Then you have curriculum vitae, that means the course of life, and the next one is the biodata. So what the three words, though they are different but more or less being considered the same, what we write is the biodata, and what are the important points that we have to keep in mind is the biodata focus on our personal particulars like our date of birth, gender, religion, race, nationality, residence, marital status, and all of them are written in the chronological order. After writing our personal details, we talk about the education, experience, achievements, we give a reference, we give our hobbies. So the three words should not be mistaken. The main point is we are writing the biodata, though resume and curriculum vitae, they are a little different, but in the curriculum that we have in the 11th and 12th is to write a biodata. I hope the three words are clear. So here is the content of the slides. I would be dealing with biodata on the programmer, office manager, hockey coach, science teacher. When I'm talking of science teacher, all the teachers can be listed up in this: senior architect, accountant, sales executive, and below I have given you some or the other qualifications which are required. Now, if you have taken humanities and arts, what would you do after your school would be a bachelor or a graduation degree, and that would be BA, that means Bachelor of Arts. If you have joined commerce, it will be BCom, that means Bachelors of Commerce, and science means Bachelors of Science, that is BSc. In the same manner, if you're doing post graduation, that is masters, the B would be replaced with M, that is MA for the arts, MCom for the commerce, MSc for the science. Now let's pick up certain more degrees, BCA and MCA, that is related to computers. Bachelors of Computer Application and Masters of Computer Application. Then we have BBA, that is Bachelors of Business Administration. BBA is required for some managerial roles and leadership positions if the question comes over. So these are the things that we would be dealing with in this slide. And the marking scheme, before we go in detail, one is for the format, 3 is for the content, and 2 marks are for the expression. Now I'm talking of format. If I don't write my content, then I would not be getting any marks for the format. So a quick biodata. The next slide, see, this is what is the format. We have to write the sender's address, the date, the receiver's address, the salutation, the subject, applying for the post of so and so. The first paragraph normally has a source where you have got to know that there is a job or a vacancy that is here, the date and the post. Now, if I write that I have read about your advertisement from the Hindustan Times, you have to write the date also. Which date have you read and what is the vacancy for? The middle paragraph has to have some or the other specific qualification. Basically, if you are a fresher and you finished up with your master's, you would be writing that I finished up my master. If you have an experience, you are teaching, you are working somewhere, then you have to write your present position. What are you working as? Where are you working? So whatever is appropriate for the job, you have to mention in the second paragraph. In the final paragraph, you would be writing that with the letter you are attaching your biodata, and the biodata includes all the information that is required, and then a complimentary close waiting eagerly for the letter, yours sincerely signature, and then you have to write enclosure, because these are the things that you would be enclosing with the biodata letter. Next, we have the biodata. What has to be written? The biodata is divided into two. One is the opening letter, which I talked about, and below you write your biodata. The biodata consists of certain points that have to be written in the chronological order. First, you have to have, see, it's given here the name, the father's name, date of birth. I can even mention age here if I want to. The permanent address, the telephone number, email ID, and educational qualification. I talked about this educational qualification initially in the beginning when I was talking about the graduation, bachelor's, master's, BBA. So all those are to be here written in the educational qualification. Then is the professional qualification. Anything extra you have done apart from your graduation and postgraduate, just like computer courses, some language speaking courses, you can write here in the professional qualification. Then is the experience. When I talk about my experience, I have to write my present post. Like if you are a teacher, so you would be writing TGT in English. In the school, then you have to write the name of the school, from how many years you have been there. You have to write in the experience. Then what is your interest or what are your hobbies. References are very important. You have to wind up the biodata with 2 references. References are important because they show that these are the people who know you. And you can also include achievements, nationality, salary drawn, salary expected, and marital status as the question requires. But the ones which are being given here are the points that have to be mandatory added up when you're writing a biodata. So I hope that the previous slide, that is slide number 4 that we discussed, is clear with what is required for the initial letter, opening letter, and this slide is what is to be written in the biodata. Now let's go for an example here. The first example is an application for the post of a computer program. So first I told you that in the initial paragraph you are supposed to write the source, the date, the vacancy. So this is with reference to your advertisement in the Times of India. This is what is your source, dated, the date is being given here. The post is computer programmer, and with a BS degree in computer programming, I have a full understanding of the full cycle, life cycle of a software development project. So he has written what he knows, what is his recent qualification, and I have also experience in learning and excelling at new technical or technological as needed. I am presently working for Satyam. This is the place where he is presently working as. That is to be written again in the second paragraph. So I have divided my second paragraph into 2 parts. Next, coming over the attachment of the resume. You can reach me on the cell phone. The number is also given here. And the line, because the person must be working, so that is why the line is, I must inform you that I need to give a month notice in case I wish to leave the company. And then you wind it up with yours sincerely. So once again, the first paragraph having the source, the date, the position, that is the vacancy for a paragraph or 2 about what you are doing presently, what you have done, and in your previous job, what have you learned. Then where are you supposed to be reached over, what are you attaching along, and then the winding up line. Let's proceed further to have another example. Now this is the biodata that has to be attached with the opening letter, and I have not dealt with the initial parts like the name, the father's name, the biodata, the marital status, the address. This is I have not dealt with. I have straight away come with the educational qualification. Now whose educational qualification we were discussing was of a computer programmer. So you can write for a computer programmer. He must have in the 12th class he must have taken the science subjects, following by BSc, the professional qualification, a diploma in the computer science from NIT Bangalore, and a computer programming A grade. He has written his experience, what has he been working in the Satyam software solution, his interest, the salary drawn that he was getting and the salary he's expecting with the two references. So I think slide number 7 and 8 is giving you an idea how to write an application for the post of computer programmer. Only the basic points have to be learned and understood. See, in the next also you will find the same thing. This is what is the reference, the date, and the post. The post is of the office manager. And then what have you recently done? What have you recently completed? What have you learned from whatever you were doing? And then the enclosure of the resume that you would be attaching along, and then the close. So if you understand what has to be there in the first, the second, and the third paragraph, the things become easy. You just have to change the second paragraph as per the post. Here the post is of the office manager, so you're talking about a business application. And then you're talking about that you are good at handling the customers. See, in the biodata also, most of the things are the same, only the educational qualification would be changing. Here, again, the name, the father's name, all these can be very easily filled by you. Coming over to educational qualification, it is because we were talking about the post of the office manager. So we'll talk about the 12th class commerce coming over, because commerce is there. So graduation would be done as BCom, that is Bachelor's of Commerce. And the experience also has been mentioned here. Then the reference. As I said, you can include all these points also when you require. Come over to the third example that has been given is of a hockey coach. Now in this hockey coach also, as I said, the first paragraph is you saw the advertisement in the Indian Express, the date is there, and then what are you giving your services for? A line or two about your profession. You are young, enthusiastic personality. You've done, that is Bachelor's of Physical Education. Coming over to your degrees, you have a 2-year experience in an esteemed school, and I wish to work in an established school. This is reason for changing the job. He is enclosing the resume, and the last line which I have underlined can be written whenever you are talking about any teacher's job. Focused and passionate about sharing my experience with the children and looking forward. Now here the biodata includes the same, the name, the address, the father's name, the contact number. I've only talked about the qualification. MA in Arts, the name of the college is also written. After MA, the maximum, the degree, the highest degree is always taken on the upper side. Below is the bachelor's in the physical education. The place has been given. Then your hobbies can be adventure sports, because you are a hockey coach, so it can be mountaineering, rafting, trekking. So some or the other thing that will change in the biodata, if you see from the above 3 examples, would be your educational qualification. Your hobbies can vary, and rest of the biodata remains the same. Moving on to some more recapitulations. Post of a science teacher. Again, I said the first initial opening letter would be getting the source. From where did you get to know about it? The date. Second would be your recent qualification, your recent experience. And the third would be the enclosure of the resume. We'll only talk about the educational qualification. It's about a science teacher, so that means science, master's, bachelor's, B.Ed, and the senior secondary, that is what is the 12th. Same case as with the senior architect. You can see here some prominent achievements I have given you here. Then why and what is the reason of changing is for the better prospect. The educational qualification is given below, and then the working experience. So all these things are only that have to be changed again and again. I'm saying the rest biodata remains the same. So a quick recapitulation of another 2. One is about accountant. Chartered accountant came in the board examination, this 2020 to 1920 board. And here, this is the qualification we can have for an accountancy, that is chartered accountancy. Before that, BCom, and then the 12th one. Presently working at the place which has been mentioned below. Then is about a sales executive. Sales executive can also have an additional qualification of computers, knowledge of HTML, Java, Net. This is the additional qualification you can write for the other post also. So I hope that the letter format of writing a biodata is clear. Once again, it is the initial opening letter. The opening letter is supposed to include a quick recapitulation. What is it going to include is the source and the first, that is the name of the newspaper, the date, the post. It would be including second paragraph about your present status, whatever. If you are a student, your present qualification. If you are working, your present place of working. Third paragraph, attachment of a resume. And in the biodata, what are you supposed to add up is the initial, your own information about your name, father's name, date of birth, marital status, address, contact number, email number. Then you are supposed to put down the educational qualification. After educational qualification, professional qualification. Then you can write your experiences, your achievements, your hobbies, your interest, and then you can wind it out with the references, and references have to be 2. Thank you. I hope that the video is clear.